Drive slow, stay alert, be patient. Typical winter's driving stuff because winter's back.
Right now, after weeks of dry and above average temperatures, winter is roaring back into southern Wisconsin. Tonight, we will detail what you can expect.
Plus, 2 sexual assaults last week, another one this week, all in Madison's Greenbush neighborhood. What police are saying about connections in these crimes. And the list of victims allegedly scammed by a local contractor keeps growing. Tonight, a call for action updates profiles and the scope of the allegations. It's all ahead on News 3 Now at 10. The flakes are just starting to fall in Madison. When it's all said and done, how much will we get? It'll depend on where you live. We are expecting more to the north and west, and down towards the state line, it will likely be quite a bit less. We have team coverage tonight. Arman Rahman is out in the elements, keeping an eye on the current road conditions. But first, let's go right to Julian Seawright.
Well, we are, as you guys mentioned, well, now there's a howling wind here on our weather patio, and on top of it, a couple of bigger flakes are still slowly starting to develop as we get into the rest of tonight. But we're going to look at this really start to pick its pace up once we get into the overnight hours. Again, just a refresher, we have that winter weather advisory in effect for pretty much all of southern Wisconsin, except for areas just as southeast. This would include Rock County and areas east of Janesville. But for Dane County, just to the north, our friends in Juneau and Adams County under a winter storm warning in effect until 3 p.m. tomorrow. Now let's go ahead and dive into also our details for the alert day. Well, we're looking for moderate snow to start to develop for us. We do have opportunities of it to be on the heavier side, but first is going to start off with the moderate snowfall once we get into the rest of tonight into tomorrow morning. 2 to 6 inches of snowfall is going to be expected from many areas, but we also are looking at that freezing rain throughout much of the southern parts of southern Wisconsin as well. As we see that system starting to split just a little bit, we can see that dry slot just to the east near Jefferson County, but for Dane County and areas to the west are holding on to a band of snow that's continuing to pick up a bit more of that heavier pace. Now, over the next 3 hours, we are looking for a bit more developments of some freezing rain, some sleet, some wintry mixes, but on top of it, more snow, especially for Dane County. Now, there's parts of Dane County that are going to be seeing more snow than they will be seeing anything else. And we'll be timing this out as of right now for over the next few hours. But until then, let's go ahead and toss it back to you guys.
Thank you, Julian. Several local school districts already changing plans for classes tomorrow. Currently, there are 9 of them. To see if yours is included, head to channel3000.com. They will also be scrolling on the bottom of your screen. And the cities of Adams, Evansville, and Lodi, along with the village of Marshall, are all declaring snow emergencies for tomorrow. In all 4, that means street parking is not allowed until the snow is cleared.
City of Madison Streets Division has been preparing the fleet of 32 plow trucks all day long, but they say until the storm ends and the snow accumulates, they can't do much but salt and clear main roads. So they ask you to dig up your safe winter driving techniques, and our Arman Rahman is live as things get started right now. Arman.
Yeah, guys, for the last hour, the flakes have been on and off here along the belt line, but I will say that the wind has definitely picked up and the temps are definitely starting to fall. But the Streets Division says the problem lies in the ground. While it's cold out, it's actually warm underground, actually above freezing. So when that snow hits, it's expected to melt into a soupy, slushy, and slippery mess onto the roadways. And all day, those 32 plow trucks that are now out on the roads were filling up with salt at the East and West Streets Division locations. Officials say it's unclear whether the heavy wet snow will accumulate enough to the 3 inches required to start a citywide plowing operation tomorrow, so they advise drivers to be cautious of slippery, slushy conditions, especially in the early morning.
Especially the heaviest part of the storm, I think, is supposed to happen just a couple hours right before rush hour kicks off too. So it could be kind of a tricky Thursday morning commute, especially in these residential areas where we don't salt every street in the city of Madison. We don't salt residential areas. There might be a little more snow covered. Could be a little slushy, a little slippery out there. So.
And more drivers are expected to go out around midnight to apply sand to hills, curves, and intersections to add traction on those areas that are not on the normal salt routes. Be sure to stay tuned to News 3 Now for more updates on your commute and this weather system. For now, live along the Beltline, Arman Rahman, News 3 Now.
And to stay up to date on all of this weather information on the go, be sure to download our free First Warn weather app. Next at 10, Madison police are now investigating a third sexual assault in the city's Greenbush neighborhood after a woman reported being touched by a stranger last night. The suspect reportedly inappropriately touched the woman from behind as she was walking toward Meriter Hospital. In the most recent case, as well as the two last week, the victims described the suspect in the same way.
Our Braden Ross has more from Madison police on how they're approaching these cases. Braden?
Yeah, police say that they believe all three victims were likely attacked by the same person, and they tell me finding this suspect is still a top priority. They're hoping the public can help.
I don't want people to be living in fear, but I want them to be alert and aware.
Exactly a week after two stranger sexual assaults just minutes apart in the Greenbush neighborhood, another woman says she was attacked by the same suspect.
Right now, we're still kind of looking again at the reports and talking to people and trying to do our canvas and video and all the other factors, but nothing yet that has gotten us to where we feel like we know who this person is.
Last Tuesday, one assault near South Park and Aaron Streets, another at Emerald and Orchard Streets. Last night, the latest assault at around 6:30 on South Park Street. All three victims were approached from behind while walking and touched inappropriately, and they all gave the same description of their attacker.
A younger male Hispanic with a slighter medium build.
Police say finding this suspect is a top priority, and they're asking for the public's help.
Let's say you see somebody peeking into your neighbor's window. We want to call on that. If there's somebody in your alleyway where there shouldn't be and you don't recognize them, watch them. Is it worth a call to us? We'd rather have a call and it be nothing than not get a call.
They're also asking for any video from nearby businesses and homes, especially those on Mills Street.
We would love to be able to review that to see if we can't connect some dots and figure out who this person is.
In the meantime, they say people, especially women, walking alone in the area should stay vigilant.
I want you to be aware of your surroundings. If you can walk with somebody, I want you to do that. I don't want you staring at your phone or having your earbuds in, and I want you listening to your gut. If somebody is making you uncomfortable, if you're seeing or feeling something that doesn't add up, listen to that.
And police say they still have an increased presence in the area and emphasize that if you see anything suspicious in the Greenbush neighborhood, you should call them and let them know.
Braden, thank you. And new information tonight. A 16-year-old girl has been arrested in connection to a stabbing last night. Happened on the city's north side. Police say the victim was a 14-year-old boy taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. He is expected to survive. Police say he was connected to a disturbance at a middle school earlier in the day. A group of people later met at Warner Park where that stabbing occurred. It is the second day in the trial of a former Badger football player, Marcus Randall L., charged in the 2020 murders of two Janesville women. Today we saw body camera footage showing parts of what happened in the early morning hours of February 10th when police responded to what eventually would become the scene of a double homicide.
Ma'am! Ma'am! Officer Buzzy! Blink if you can hear me.
We also saw photo evidence in the car that Marcus Randall allegedly used to flee the scene. Police said the car had evidence that included bloodstains and bullet fragments. Randall L. is pleading not guilty in this trial.
Around the state, two police officers are recovering in Racine after being shot during a standoff overnight. Police responded to a domestic violence call around 11 o'clock. After an hour of talking to the man inside, police say he shot at the officers. Two were hurt but are expected to survive. The suspect was eventually arrested and taken to the hospital. Wisconsin's Attorney General today announcing a new task force that will combat human trafficking. The Wisconsin Anti-Human Trafficking Task Force will be comprised of federal, state, and tribal law enforcement and victim service providers. Attorney General Josh Kaul says the task force is the first step of formalizing its structure and operational protocols. It will be funded by a multi-year grant from the DOJ. The Dane County Sheriff's Office says no one was injured in a fire this evening near Oregon. Crews from multiple departments responded to the home on Oak Hill Road in the town of Rutland. We're told the home is a total loss. The American Red Cross is helping those affected by the fire.
Tomorrow, authorities in New Mexico plan to announce whether criminal charges will be filed in the fatal shooting on the set of the movie Rust. A cinematographer was shot and killed. This was October of 2021 during a rehearsal for a scene for the movie. Actor and producer Alec Baldwin was holding a gun when it was fired. A helicopter crash in a town outside Kyiv has claimed the life of the highest-ranking Ukrainian official to die since the start of the war there. The chopper came down near a kindergarten, killing some on the ground as well. Ukraine's interior minister, who is in charge of the country's police and National Guard, was among those killed. There hasn't been any recent fighting in that area, but what brought the helicopter down is still under investigation. A new feature of the Korean War Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. is causing a bit of controversy. The Wall of Remembrance opened to the public last summer. It features 100 panels with the names of more than 43,000 U.S. service members and Korean augmentees who were killed during the Korean War, but several family members have since reported that hundreds, even thousands of the names are missing or misspelled on the Remembrance Wall. A Pentagon spokesman says Department of Defense is working in tandem with the Department of Interior to correct those mistakes.
A timeline of scams that only gets bigger. It's become a pattern. We air a story, we hear from more people who say contractor Tyler Hansen took advantage of them. Tonight, Naomi Cole shows you how far the web stretches in this call for action update.
Oh, let's see, prove it.
Daryl Shields' response to this from Tyler Hansen in Dane County Court last week.
I'm working diligently to satisfy contracts and to give refunds. I've given over 80 refunds in the last year.
Daryl's story rings true to so many others. A $10,000 deposit on construction work he wanted done on his home.
You know, because I really didn't think they would be screwing me over.
Now, the money gone.
And that's when she took the check, and I haven't seen or heard from them since, because I've been trying to get a hold of them, and their numbers are disconnected.
As a result, Mr. Shield was forced to file a lawsuit to try and get some relief to the situation.
You know all this because in some version or another, we have told this story before.
This front door you could kind of see as a disaster.
But from August last year through today, it is astonishing how much more we've found.
We've had about 14 now, just in the last couple of days.
For a decade at Channel 3000, Barb has helped our Call for Action volunteers who solve consumer issues for our viewers.
We've never seen anything like this in all the years we've been doing Call for Action, never.
She hasn't heard from anyone that can confirm his claims that he's paying restitution, but she keeps getting calls about his scams.
I've contacted some of the people, and they're like, no one has gotten any restitution from him, not one person that I've spoken with.
Police, state officials, our own team, no one quite seems to have the full picture of how far these scams go. But here's what we can show you, just from our own data on our Call for Action team. Start here in Madison, pan out around southern Wisconsin and beyond. More than 6 dozen people have contacted us about Hansen.
And a lot of these people or older people.
The money gone, even worse. We checked our data, and just those 63 people are estimated to have lost about $400,000. Meanwhile,
Text. Yeah, no answer.
Mr. Shields not alone. There's a number of other people out there.
At least dozens and probably more wait for justice. For News 3 Now, I'm Naomi Coles.
In court documents we went through today, detectives say criminal charges could be coming in as many as 16 counties.
We've also compiled an article online at channel3000.com listing details from criminal complaints across a few of the counties where he's now criminally charged.
Still ahead tonight, why hundreds of work.
What you see is important. That makes quality eye care important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see. Don't need glasses. See us for your contacts and save on your annual supply.
Madison Magazine's Winter Restaurant Week is here. Participating restaurants will provide 3-course dinners starting at $30. Some restaurants will offer a lunch menu for $20. Featuring wine and more by E&J Gallo Winery. Check out our guide to Restaurant Week online to see which restaurants are offering takeout as well as dine-in. Don't miss Madison Magazine's Winter Restaurant Week 2023. Brought to you by the presenting sponsor, Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund, and supporting sponsor, Bergstrom Madison Chevrolet and Cadillac.
Get an Escape, Edge, or Explorer SUV with 0% APR financing for 36 months, only at your Wisconsin and UP Ford dealers.
Helpful hints for you from Meineke. Your vehicle's brake pads are designed to wear down over time. That's why we recommend a visual brake inspection at least once a year or before you hit the road for a trip. If you feel or hear anything abnormal, stop into Meineke for a free brake inspection and a courtesy check today. And with 4 locations in the Madison area, there's always a Meineke nearby. Set up your appointment at Meineke.com today.
Nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It really is something. As an Expedia member, you can save up to 30% when you add a hotel to your flight. So you can have a bit more money to do even less. Because you've got a whole lot of nothing to do. And absolutely nowhere to be.
What you see is important. That makes quality eye care important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see. Shopko Optical welcomes more insurance plans than ever. Call to book an exam and verify coverage.
All rise. It's J. Hud Court with Judge Mathis. Then, remember this little thing? She is back with more moves. Plus, Chase Rice performs.
On the next Jennifer Hudson Show at 3.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Welcome back. We're about a month away from a new Hy-Vee grocery store opening in Janesville, but it's much more than that. Some are calling it a much-needed asset in that community. The store will also include a Wahlburgers restaurant inside, leaving them looking for a whole lot of people to help out. The store alone will add some 600 jobs, and other stores have already committed to the land surrounding that store, boosting the economy there for years to come. The 2023 Madison Pub Pass is officially on sale. It's basically a passport that gets stamped at each participating brewery and bar you visit. Starkweather Brewing Company on Atwood is one of the 26 local businesses taking part in that promotion.
The nation's largest party goods and Halloween specialty retail chain, Party City, filed for bankruptcy protection this week. It comes after years of losses and weak sales as online retailers and big box chains have been cutting into Party City's market share. Bissell is recalling some of its cordless multi-surface wet-dry vacuum cleaners due to a fire hazard. The company issued the recall for 61,000 of the cordless vacuums after receiving dozens of reports of the battery overheating, smoking, and catching fire. Both directions of Interstate 70 closed for several hours today near the Colorado-Kansas state line after a large pileup. Approximately 9 semis and 12 passenger vehicles were involved. No serious injuries were reported. Officials say it started with a jackknifed semi that caused a chain reaction of slide-offs and accidents.
Another live look over Madison right now. A few flurries starting to fall. The wind, of course, has been picking up over last hour or so, and that snowfall will also be picking up overnight. Our Armand Rahman has been keeping an eye on the conditions for us tonight.
He joins us once again along the Beltline with an update. Armand?
Yeah, guys, I don't know if you can see it here, but it's that wintry mix of hail or maybe graupel has kind of increased here in just the last 15 minutes or so. And again, that's being blown around with that wind. Now, don't lull yourself into a false sense of security just yet if you think that, oh, where's the snow? The Streets Division did expect that to really start and kick in overnight going into early tomorrow morning. So still plan ahead to leave 20 minutes early to your commute tomorrow to avoid being lost in those, stuck in those slippery conditions tomorrow morning. For now, live along the Beltline, Armand Rahman, News 3 Now.
And here's Julian Seawright with our first warn forecast.
Well, things are definitely getting a bit messy out there. As Armand is really out on the near Beltline. Going to start to see some of those slippery conditions later into tonight. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Starting with our sky cams. What's really hard to see as we're looking outside of Madison, but we are starting to see and deal with a bit of those heavier snowflakes, and on top of it, that wintry mix. So we're experiencing some sleet, which is going to develop even more slippery conditions as we continue throughout the rest of tonight. Now, outside of Platteville, you can kind of see a bit on their roads as of right now, just a layer of some slush and a bit of that sleet that has developed over the last hour. Now, there have been reports that they've seen about 1/2 inch of sleet and even some snowfall that has developed for that area as we continue throughout the rest of tonight. So let's go ahead and rehash our weather bulletins. We're looking at a winter weather advisory for pretty much most of southern Wisconsin. Areas to the southeast, this will be from Rock County over towards the eastern side between Milwaukee and Kenosha, are not under a winter weather advisory, but we will be until 9 a.m. And our friends in Juneau and Adams County and the rest in the pink will be under a winter storm warning until Thursday at 3 p.m. But taking a look again at the system in itself with our radar, you can see the snow is really pounding the western half of southern Wisconsin. But as you take a look, there's a bit of a divide, just a bit of that dry slot right between Jefferson County areas to the north and just to the south, where you can see that divider bringing in plenty of rain towards Chicago area, but over just south of Madison, right near the border between Greene County and Dane County, we are now starting to develop a bit of some of that sleet and even some ice on our radar. So we are going to be looking at really slick and slippery conditions throughout the rest of tonight as we continue. Once we get into the later parts, those temperatures start to fall. We're going to be looking at some more of that snow really developing into the overnight hours. But we're still going to be dealing with a bit more of that wintry mix, which is going to hinder, once again, the snow accumulations for Dane County and areas to the south, which is why we tapered off a bit on those snow accumulations for Dane County and areas to the south. Now, walking through the rest of the overnight, once we get that transition from that wintry mix into some snow, we are looking for a bit of the bands of heavier wet snow throughout the early Thursday morning. But around 7 o'clock, we're still dealing with just a little bit of some of that snowfall. A little heavy just near Columbia County and areas to the north. But you can see towards the far northwest near La Crosse and for Viroqua, we're going to be looking at a bit more lighter snowfall. And as we continue throughout the rest of our Thursday morning, it's going to circulate its way around. So we're going to look at light snow and some flurries getting into late morning, close to the noon hour. But then for the rest of our Thursday afternoon, still some light snow until it's fully over once we get into our Thursday night. But some flurries could stick around. So again, make sure you're giving yourself some extra time for tomorrow, because we are going to be seeing not just the snow accumulations being the issue, but slippery conditions as well. Getting into our Thursday afternoon will be the best time to start to shovel any of the snow that has accumulated. But outside of that, folks, remember just to take things slow and give yourself some extra time. Here's the 3 things we'll need to know. We're looking at wintry mix and icy conditions for some areas, especially if you're in Dane County to the south. Heavy wet snow is going to be likely throughout the overnight, but we are looking for much of the area to be ranging from 2 to 6 inches, but the 6 inches is going to mainly be north of Dane County once we get into the rest of the event closing out. Now taking a look at our 10-day forecast. After tomorrow's alert days over with, well, it's going to be rather quiet. Temperatures will be rather normal for this time of year. It's going to be cold, but it's also going to be cloudy. We have a couple chances of seeing some flurries heading into next week, but overall things are going to stay rather quiet.
And coming up in sports, Big Steve playing bully ball in the paint. Why Tyler Wall called him a grown man after last night's game. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Wisconsin. It's easy to take for granted how we warm up. But what if you couldn't warm up so easily? For many, it's a reality they can't ignore. Working families, elderly, disabled, and veterans struggling to keep their heat and power on in the dangerous cold of winter. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our energy, water, and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safe in your home. No one deserves to suffer when we can help each other.
Introducing Sass, Sauce and Shells, a bold new restaurant on Madison's Capitol Square, combining the best of barbecue and shelled seafood by Chef Joe Perkins. Add a little sass to your lunch or dinner plans today. Open 7 days a week.
Spark inspiration at the Build and Remodel Expo. Chat with local experts showcasing the latest innovations in home building and remodeling. Browse kitchen, bath, and new home construction trends. Visit buildremodelexpo.com for more information.
Only a wise and lucky few understand the amazing benefits of real sauna bathing. Leisure Concepts has Finnish and infrared saunas that set up in a flash and will get you through winter happy and healthy. Now watch closely to see my favorite part of sauna bathing. Get to Leisure Concepts on the Beltline at the Park Street exit.
He has his grandfather's smile.
Her mother's eyes.
My cheekbones.
But will she have my diabetes?
my sickle cell anemia.
His father's heart disease?
Go to joinallofus.org to share your health information and speed up health research breakthroughs. The future of health begins with you.
We asked people to give their honest feedback on how wrinkles around their eye area and under-eye puffiness looked after trying Tint and Tighten for the first time.
So with foundation, normally it just kind of cover up and conceal things, but with Tint and Tighten, it actually changes the way the skin looks. The lines are actually gone, so you don't get any of that buildup within them and the creases that you normally would see with when you wear foundation.
Tint and Tighten shrinks under-eye puffiness, smooths out wrinkles and fine lines around the eye area, and provides tinted coverage to hide dark circles and skin imperfections, making you look fresh and younger. And since Tint and Tighten works in 10 minutes and lasts up to 8 hours, you can look your best without getting injections or fillers. Get beautiful, lightweight, tinted coverage, plus that smoother, younger, wrinkle-free look from years past in 10 minutes. A look that will make you feel beautiful and confident. Try it this new year for only $19.95, plus get free shipping and handling. Visit tintandtighten.com or call the number on your screen.
Steven Crowell has been on a tear lately. In 8 of Wisconsin's last 9 games, Big Steve, as his teammates like to call him, has been stuffing the stat sheet with double-figure point performances. The latest one, just your average 21 points and 11 rebounds against Penn State. He's been bullying bodies down low and putting the Big Ten on notice.
There's not a whole lot I can say. I just think he's turned into a grown man. He's a force in this league now, and I'm just really excited. He's got a few more years left here.
He's bigger, stronger. You know, he's more physical in the paint, and he embraces the physical contact. And I think he's getting to a point where he's demanding the ball. We're running a lot of stuff through him.
Wisconsin's next game on the schedule is Saturday at Northwestern, but the Badgers are unsure that game will happen. The Wildcats had to postpone tonight's game against the Hawkeyes due to COVID-19 issues within their program. Greg Gard said after the win, he didn't think Saturday's contest will happen. If it doesn't, UW's next game would be Wednesday at Maryland. Lately, Drew Holiday has taken his game to another level. The Bucks guard is averaging 27 points and nearly 10 assists in Milwaukee's last 4 games, including last night's 37-point performance. He's playing at an all-star level on both sides of the ball. Now, as far as playing in the all-star game, Holiday wouldn't be opposed, but he also likes his time off.
Look, I love my vacation just as much as anybody else. So. If I go to the break and I get to go on the beach somewhere, I get to go home, I'm okay with that. But I would love to be an all-star, to be completely honest.
The Wisconsin women's hockey team is currently on a 5-game skid, something nobody, fans, coaches, and players, have been a part of in a very long time. So in an attempt to get their mojo back, Mark Johnson decided to switch things up a bit. Yesterday, the Badgers were greeted by UW-Madison's new police horses, Vetter and Retke, named after former hockey star Jesse Vetter and former volleyball great Dana Retke. The meet and greet served as sensory training for the horses and a fun change of pace for the team.
I think it's pretty interesting that someone wanted to name a horse after her, and so her legacy still lives on, and we should be galloping around town here when the weather warms up a little bit, so everybody will get a chance to meet her and get a chance to maybe give her a treat, which she liked this morning. So fun experience, unique opportunity, as I told the team, and something fun to do.
We're back after this.
Stanton Optical independent eye doctors are available for eye exams whenever you need one. You should have seen me before I got mine. You're so quiet. Are you mad at me? Book your free same-day eye exam at Stanton Optical today.
Madison Magazine's Winter Restaurant Week is here. Participating restaurants will provide 3-course dinners starting at $30. Some restaurants will offer a lunch menu for $20. Featuring wine and more by E&J Gallo Winery. Check out our guide to Restaurant Week online to see which restaurants are offering takeout as well as dine-in. Don't miss Madison Magazine's Winter Restaurant Week 2023. Brought to you by the presenting sponsor, Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund, and supporting sponsor, Bergstrom Madison Chevrolet and Cadillac.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection, a name you can trust when service is a must.
Monona Plumbing and
and Fire Protection is here 24 hours a day.
7 days a week for all your residential and commercial plumbing services.
From installation, repairs, and maintenance to complete sewer and drain cleaning, we've got you covered.
Visit MononaPFP.com.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection, a name you can trust when service is a must.
With reliable COVID-19 results in just 15 minutes, everyone is making room for Binax Now in their medicine cabinet.
Do we still need these pregnancy tests?
Yeah, no. Out with the old, in with the #1 COVID-19 self-test in the U.S. With the same technology doctors use to test for COVID-19. Binax Now.
Turn on Bionic Spotlight Extreme 360, the motion-activated home defense light that looks just like a security camera. It detects even the slightest motion and automatically triggers 6 ultra-bright LED high beams. Call or go online and order your Bionic Extreme 360 for just $19.99. Plus, get free shipping on your entire order.
To order, call 1-800-501-5956 or go online to buybionic360.com. Call now.
I became an orthopedic surgeon for a lot of reasons.
For a lot of reasons.
For a lot of reasons. To help you take walks again. To ease your pain. To rebuild your strength. And at every step along the way,
we take the time to answer all your questions.
We're here because we care. We care about you. You.
You. They care about me.
Sauk Prairie Healthcare Orthopedics, now offering robotic-assisted knee replacement.
Stanton Optical is the best value in eye care. We do the math, people. For $79, you get all this. That costs over $400 at LensCrafters, over $200 at Walmart, and over $150 at America's Best. When it comes to value, Stanton Optical is the top bird.
Channel 3000 Plus. Watch from your streaming media player or mobile device.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
I don't like those snow piles in that picture, but we're going to have some snow moving in.
That's right, and it's going to be the wet snow, so be prepared for some slippery roads and even some icy conditions for some areas. But the good news is we're going to be dry heading into the weekend with temperatures rather normal for January. It's going to be a quiet one, but a couple of flurries maybe by the time we get into the back end of the weekend.
And stay with us. Download the weather app. Stay with channel3000.com and join the morning crew for the very latest as this weather system moves in. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10.
Do something good. Have a great night, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.